Fabio Wardley vs Justis Huni. What a dramatic showdown. Huni proved all the doubters wrong. He deserved to be picked as the late replacement fighting for the interim WBA title. He showcased real boxing ability and dominated Wardley basically the entire time. I gave Wardley maybe one round before the stoppage. Huni just looked like the more comfortable boxer in there and picked his shots really well. He kept Wardley on the back foot, staying close with him in order to smother Wardley's big power shots. Huni did a great job at being defensively responsible, in the early and middle rounds at least, putting his guard up when he needed to and keeping his hands high when exchanging with Wardley. Huni did so well in this fight, until Wardley landed the big one and knocked Huni out. Fuck man. Before we continue, please make sure to subscribe to the channel for more combat sports coverage. We're pumping out videos all the time regarding MMA and boxing. I'm putting most of my after work time into this channel, so I'd love for you to be a part of the journey and grow it with us. Anyway, I didn't watch the fight live unfortunately. It was just too late for me to stay up and check it out. But I was gutted to hear that Huni lost the next day. I heard from a friend that Huni won every single round and he just got caught with a good shot from Wardley. I then watched the fight back earlier today, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. Huni got a tiny bit lazy with his defense, probably because he was growing in confidence throughout the fight. He slipped up, and he got dropped by a quick right hand. There was controversy regarding the 10 count, whether it was too quick, and also whether Huni got up in time for the bout to continue. I thought it was a fine stoppage from the ref. Maybe he should have checked if Huni was good to fight on as he picked himself up from the canvas instead of just waving it off, but it is what it is. If Huni did continue, then Wardley may have hurt him really bad, and I'd prefer to see Huni fight another day. Huni is only 26 years old after all, he's a super young heavyweight, and if we examine what we saw over the weekend, he's a very solid boxer in his own right. And he can always improve, fight a couple lower level guys before gunning for a belt again. Huni reminds me of Joseph Parker in a few ways. I believe both are underestimated in their divisions because they lack the devastating power of an Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder, or in this case, Fabio Wardley. But they make up for it with good, measured performances, and I feel like they're both dark horses. Huni is so young man, he will develop over time and will contend for a world title in the future. Did Huni expose Wardley before the knockouts? Kinda. Not to take away from Wardley's knockouts, it was a clean punch and it did the job. He has that equalizer in his back pocket and other heavyweight contenders need to be careful of it. However, if Wardley got outboxed by Justis Huni, how will he even compete against Daniel Dubois, Alexander Usyk, or even someone like Cabello? These opponents are now realistic matchups for Wardley in the future, given the fact that he's now an interim title holder. I know it's the interim version of the regular WBA belts, but still, 1 to 2 more wins and he'll be looking at proper world title opportunities. Side note, it's kinda fucking annoying how the WBA has a super version and a regular version of their world title, then they have an interim version of the regular belt. It's basically the interim belt for the interim belt, and it makes no sense to me. Regardless, Fabio Wardley has the interim regular belt and will probably fight the winner of Pulev vs Hunter. I believe Wardley will beat either boxer by stoppage, but then he would go on to fight either Usyk or Dubois. Both would outbox and beat Wardley comfortably. I mean, Jesus, Dubois in particular would be very dangerous for Wardley. I'm not saying that Fabio is a terrible boxer or that he got badly exposed, but I just feel like he's gonna hit a ceiling soon and power alone won't be enough to stop the best guys in the division. I mean, it almost wasn't enough against Justis Huni. As much as I rate Huni's skills, there's a gap between Huni and Usyk or Daniel Dubois. Wardley would match up well against slower plodding boxers like Zhang, Big Baby Miller, Dillian White, but against athletic movers that would put the pace on him, it would be a hard night for Wardley. Where should both Justis Huni and Fabio Wardley go from here? Well, I was originally on board with a rematch set at the end of the year, with both guys having full camps and preparation this time. However, I'm not really the biggest fan of immediate rematches, and Wardley also deserves to fight for the WBA belt next. I mean, he won the interim title last weekend. He's next in line. That being said, I'd let Huni rest for the time being and perhaps fight someone back in Australia late 2025. Maybe on a w.a.d.e card or something, if him and Zotto can make the unification bout happen. Huni is a talented fighter, and Matchroom has plenty of time to build him. Eddie Hearn should possibly look at pitting Huni against Wardley's original opponent for last weekend, Big Baby Miller. I think that's a very winnable opponent for Huni with solid name value, and it would put him right back in the picture. Let me know your thoughts about Huni vs Wardley. As an Aussie, I was fucking gutted for Huni, and I hope he can come back strong. I would love to see an Australian heavyweight champion. That would be fucking sick. Especially alongside the Australian champ in the weight class below, in w.a.d.e. Come on, Justis, you can fucking win a title, mate. I'll catch you down the road.